you know, do you know what I mean? But like, don't, if it's something I don't believe in, don't try to make me believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to make you believe that,
What What's the thing that you don't believe in that's being made to have you believe it?
um, it's not really the LGBT or LGB that I'm um, really have any issue with, I guess you could say, but it's the T community that I don't
Okay.
understand because I think that if you have to go out of your way to have certain medications or uh, surgeries or anything like that, and I know that those are optional and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that if you have to go to those measures,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody that is cis
Mm-hmm.
don't have to go through those measures, I mean, you're kind of not what you're saying that you are. So like that's
But it's not contingent upon whether they get surgeries or get medications or not. Like, for example, there are human beings who are maybe born without a limb or who are born with all sorts of things that are not that of a typical human, but we still address them and treat them exactly as they are human beings, right? And their lack of a limb, for example, or whatever the case might be,
right,
doesn't take away from that.
right,
But no, that's not a prerequisite to being trans. Certain medications or surgeries, right? Like as you said, it is optional in the sense of it's not a requirement.
right, right.
So what's the part I guess that you disagree with? I know you didn't use that exact word, but the part that
Um,
yeah you have an issue with or whatever.
I guess just the whole. I guess when they speak on like being biological and stuff, and it's like I, I, I don't know. I don't. Maybe I am dumb. I don't know.
Well, I'm
Uh,
not saying that.
I
Yeah.
just I just
What do you mean about being biological?
um.
And I'm not trying to trap you, by the way.
I know.
I'm just trying to
I'm
have the
just trying
question,
to.
or I'm
I'm
just
just
trying to have
trying to
the
be able
discussion.
to. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to word it
Don't
because
worry about
I'm not.
offending. Don't worry about offending anybody. We get it all the time. So say whatever it is that
Well,
God's saying about.
I'm not that kind of person though. You know what I mean? And like I hate that other people talk vile and things like that. Like that's not who I am though. Um, so I like to make sure that I kind of know what I'm saying too, and not making myself look like an idiot. Um, but I'm not really sure how to answer that. I do apologize.
Okay. Whew. Lithian, anything that you wanted to say to the guest?
Oh, there was the biological comment. Biological just means living, breathing organism. So all people are biological. If you're talking about biological female, no trans woman specifically claims that they are by a biological female. Like we know what our sex is, or SMEX, excuse me.
Okay.
Well, I mean, some people. No, I didn't mean that to mean like the whole community within itself. I'm just saying like I've heard, or let me rephrase that. I guess what I'm confused about would be like when I hear people say things like I'm transgender, fur, like they start naming all these other community type things, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, how does any of that to me that doesn't make any sense. So like if somebody's able to explain all these other communities and stuff, like I'm open eared kind of person. I
Could you give me an example? You kind of lost me there for a sec.
well, like the furry groups and
Well,
I don't even know what they're called, but
that's just like a different group that doesn't have anything to do with being trans.
so that doesn't fall under the
No.
okay. Then my mistakes, my
Oh,
apologies.
you're okay. It's okay. You
All
can
right.
be a cis straight guy and a furry.
Yeah, that's not like a sexual orientation or a
No.
gender identity or anything like that.
Well, then my apologies then. So you learn something new every day then, I guess, huh?
Mhm.
Fair. Guys, we're looking for opposition. If you do disagree with the background prompt, hit the request button at the bottom of the screen. I think so
That's
too,
kind of
Peabody. I do. I think so as well. Do you
that's kind of
have
all I
any
wanted.
questions? Because I
I
do think
don't.
you are. Okay, listen. I do think you are being genuine. I often don't get genuine people up here, so I think you. It seems like you do actually want to learn. So you're always
Well,
welcome to come on up if you have questions or whatever. Unless if you have more now, you can ask. I mean, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
kick you.
I am a real life trans. I am more than happy to answer your questions.
I don't. I'm the kind of person that even if I don't agree with somebody's lifestyle or somebody's whatever, like I'm not gonna like degrade them and talk down on somebody just because I don't understand something or don't agree. I think that's what's great about America. People can have disagreements, but it's how somebody goes about delivering it. If that makes any kind of sense.
All right.
Mhm.
All right. Well, hey, if there's nothing else, let me go ahead and bring you down. But
All
I
right.
appreciate you coming on up. All right.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah. Well, you have a good rest of your night. Take care. Yeah, Eugene, I know, but I do think that
Yeah.
aside, he in general did seem to be genuine in the sense of, not having a viewpoint that he knows absolutely everything and that his views are correct and everything else is wrong. I think inherently, if someone is not knowledgeable on this topic, or anybody like in this community or anything like that, I think just unfortunately, I'm not trying to give them an excuse. They're going to say things that are incorrect or harmful or whatever, just because they're just not knowledgeable on some of these things. So they may use the word lifestyle when, of course, it is obviously not a lifestyle. Um, Again, I'm not trying to, because I think obviously impact does matter, but
Mhm.
I think it's important to take into consideration people's intentions, when it comes to things. And I would imagine you guys would agree on that.
Yeah, if he said the exact same thing but was like a little more like combative, it might be a different
Yeah,
story. But he
yeah,
seemed
for
fine.
sure. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. No, I mean, there is that saying, impact over intent, and I think that's a great saying, or phrase or whatever to use. But no, I really do think intentions matter because I there's a big difference if somebody, as Lithium you said, if somebody says something and they're trying to be hurtful with it versus if those weren't their intentions at all. I get in both scenarios it can be hurtful, but one of them could be an opportunity for somebody to learn and change things. The other one, not so much.
Mhm.
Um, Whew. All right, guys, if you can keep tapping and sharing, that would be great. And as far as the tube, like I didn't really realize live streams could get taken down on a tube. I thought you had to do some pretty nasty stuff for that to happen. So I think that's going to get appealed. It was just literally a warning. Not like literally, it's not anything that's going to do anything at all. But I think from what I gathered from the warning was that some guest said something. Um, that I guess was considered to be hateful, harmful, whatever, and yeah, so it's okay. But RTP, I know most of you guys probably know who RTP is. He has guests that say some pretty shitty things. So like, it's weird how this one, I got a warning, but whatever. I'm cringing so hard. The older millennial stitched my video praising you. Ugh! How did that happen, Snitch? What was he praising you on or about? I would be. I don't know how I would ever feel about that. That would make me reevaluate a lot of life decisions of mine, no offense. Uh, I, yeah, I didn't know that either, right? Apparently, he doesn't like raw milk and likes jacked women with master's degrees. I wasn't rolling my eyes at you, by the way. I find that interesting that he doesn't like raw milk, considering he's chock full of misinformation as is. Um, But I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day. So, but no, I am very surprised to hear him have that viewpoint. Your group has map, correct? That would be incorrect. Bradley Instruction 1350. That would be absolutely incorrect. But I appreciate you trying to phrase your question as if you are genuinely asking, even though we all can see through your stupid bullshit.
Did they just say we have maps?
Like, you know,
Oh,
the acronym. Yeah, yeah. Thanks,
yep,
Gabby.
yep.
Yeah,
Gross.
it's stupid. Bradley, it's not on the flag. You're gonna say
No.
4chan. Their whole new talking point is it's a new talking point of theirs is that
Mm.
one of the colors represents maps because a post on 4chan says so. That's their new talking point. Swear to God.
Well, if it's on 4chan, Doug, it's got to be 110% real.
Hey, what's up, Gwen? I see you there in the tube. Yeah, so Bradley, the fact that you were trying to phrase your question as you genuinely asking, I lost all respect for you. But no, it's not on the flag at all. I don't know any, and I truly mean any transgender individual, gay, lesbian, anybody with an LGBT community that is supportive of quote unquote maps, wants it to be part of the community, or has any favorable position about them whatsoever. So let's stop it with that bullshit nonsense. Let's stop with that. Now, you guys typically are the people who seem to be all for that. I mean, for one, you voted for a guy who's all over a whole bunch of files that implicates him in doing harmful and disgusting things to uh, children. But I would assume you're okay with that. Seems like every other day we hear about a Republican getting arrested for doing something to kids. We only ever see Republicans voting against legislation that calls to raise the age of consent for marriage. So that's something they supposedly care about. You should reevaluate your life decisions, everybody, because they won't leave the kids alone. Okay, Brady boy. Listen, if you think a map has anything to do with the community, you are welcome to come on up and substantiate your viewpoint, but that's not going to happen. How are you doing is spreading propaganda? Let's Google it, moron. Okay, great. Let's do it. Guys, let's do what they want me to do. Let's Google it. This is going to be terrific. They're going to say, oh, it's the wrong Google, or look at something else. Is maps in the LGBT flag? No! Maps are not part of the LGBT plus community. Symbols are not part of the pride flag. Gee, thank you for telling me to Google it. It just reaffirms my viewpoint that it's not part of it. I urge you to Google it, okay? So, sorry, buddy. And if you want, I can share my screen and show you exactly where that was. Yes, maps is not a thing, nor has it ever been a thing. Guys, we are looking for opposition. Please. Oh, Lithium, sorry, I'll bring you back up.
Sorry about that. My
Oh, you're okay.
glitched.
No worries, no worries. And you accept AI as a source? I told you guys that Bradley was going to come up with bullshit excuses. I told you guys. Now tell us where we should go, because AI says you're wrong, Reuters says you're wrong, what is it? Safer Society Foundation says that you're wrong, PBS, Wikimedia, Bates College, Pink News, NY.gov are all on the first page, all say you're incorrect. Let's go to page number 2. GLBT Historical Society says you're wrong. The Human Rights Campaign says you're wrong. The Google Arts and Culture says you're wrong. Snoop says you're wrong. University of Colorado Boulder says you're wrong. A random person on Reddit says you're wrong. Quora says you're wrong. Move and Advance Project says you're wrong. Need we go to page 3, Bradley? Or are you now willing to admit that you are wrong? All Democrat sources. Okay. So Bradley, please do tell me what source I should go to on Google that would back up your point. Because you told me to Google it. This is what you told me to do. I Googled it. It said you were wrong. So let's just move the goalpost of what we're not supposed to do. Bro doesn't understand that gay conservatives exist. Nope, gay conservatives exist. Now what?
You can be gay and wrong. Like, that's allowed.
That is true. That is very true. I used to answer questions for Cha-Cha. Did any of you guys used to work for not work for Quora, but answer questions? That was like one of the things I would always look at, like in high school when I would Google things. I'd read through like the Quora questions or whatever. I don't hate anyone, guys. I just don't agree with their lifestyle. We should put that on a bingo card. Seriously, I think next time we do this, we should make a bingo card. And it should be, I don't hate them, I just disagree with their lifestyle. What else should be on there? The maps link. Maps is on the flag. What else? Yeah, guys, give examples here.
Should the free space be like start slurring as soon as they're backed in a corner?
What's that?
Should the free space be start slurring as soon as they're backed in a corner?
Yeah. Oh, this is another one. I'm fine with LGB, just not the T. Yeah. Stop shoving it down our throats. Or I'm fine with it. Just stop shoving it down our throats. I'm fine with it. Just leave the kids alone. Leave Britney alone. Every time they say leave the kids alone, that's all I think of. I don't know why. Yeah. Alphabet Gang, LGBTQRYZ. They think it's like the funniest thing ever. They think it's hilarious. Their sense of humor is that of a 4-year-old.
It's so fried.
Leave kids alone. Yeah, the thing that we're joking about is you guys are just completely out of reality when it comes to these things. You guys only get your information for propaganda that's being fed to you by whatever the fuck you guys use these days to find information. But I'm sorry, reality doesn't show that kids are being forced to learn about whatever the fuck it is you guys say. There's nothing that's being done to the kids in which they need to be left alone. I hate to break it to you, them being aware that gay people or trans people exist isn't them not being left alone, it's them learning. Mm-hmm. But we already know you guys are against learning, so that does track. How Aussie is this guy? None. Yes, Molly, they say that too. LGBT HDMI or something, or LGBT HTV.
My personal favorite is LMNOP.
You guys can call on in on the tube. There is a phone number for you to call on in. So I don't know, like if you really want to speak your opinions, you can.
You can say all your favorite things to the trans on panel.
Wait until 18. I'm totally fine with trans people doing what they want. Just wait until you're 18. Thank you, Rainland. I appreciate it. Pronouns are very difficult. Apparently. If you are a boy, you're gonna be called a boy. You can play make-believe, but you can't force others to. Okay. Well, why don't you come on up, Derek? We can have a conversation about that, okay? Derek, just come up. We'll have a discussion on it. No one's, again, you guys don't know what the word force means. It just doesn't mean what you think it means. Like us telling you, hey, like refer to us or me as this or that or this person's that, like that's not being forced. Again, by the definition of force, it would have to result in some sort of fine or punishment, some sort of like legal punishment or fine, and I'm sorry, you just can't substantiate that occurring. But if you're watching on TikTok, make sure you hit the request button if you want to come up. If you're watching on the tube, make sure you call on in. You can dial the phone number. You have yet to say that you denounce P3DOs, said somebody in the comments section, guys. So, guys, today I learned that we all love P3DOs until we say otherwise. Every single one of you guys has to state in the comments that you denounce P3DOs. Otherwise, the default is that you like them. Today I learned from some random nobody on the in the YouTube comment section. Like that's the craziest thing ever to say. Oh my gosh! All right, the comments in the tube are just way too entertaining for me to not address them. I'm happy with people being trans, just don't be narcissistic when we misgender you. And by the way, MISS space gender. That's ironic. We're not going to play your imaginary games, okay? Yeah. I know, right? Like, is that like a very ironic misspelling? It almost leads me to think that they did it on purpose, but I don't think they're that smart to do that on purpose. No offense, but I just don't think they are.
Can you hear me or no? Sorry.
No, I mean I heard you say that, but I didn't hear it.
Okay.
If you were speaking before, I didn't hear.
Oh, I thought I was saying misgender sounds like a drag name.
I like it. That's actually pretty good. That's actually very good. So you mock people who oppose and ban them for hate speech? Jack, you sound like a very upset snowflake. Do you need a safe space, Jack? Sounds like you need a safe space. The party of anti-safe spaces needs a safe space.
Because they unalived Charlie. No, so I'm in the.
Oh, you're watching. You
YouTube
see
chat
them
now.
Yeah. It should. Here we go, guys. Take out your bingo card. It should only be the LGBT community.
Oh.
See, there it is. That one always gets to me because, like, it's always straight people for one saying that, like 99% of the time, that like the LGB should be separated from everything else. And I would say like 80% of the time, they don't even know what any of the letters stand for outside of T. So like they're saying it should be separated, but they don't even know what half of it even means. Which leads me to think that they're just repeating the talking points that have been fed to them.
How I usually respond to it is, yeah, we can separate as soon as your MAGA figures out that we're not all the same thing, then we can have that conversation. Because like the amount of times I've heard like an old MAGA person be like the gays or something.
I know, yeah. It's all gay. One of the guests that I had before you came up said that like it's all gay. Everything's gay. But yeah, so like it's almost always straight people saying that the letters should be separated. But like my response to them is like, okay, let's say they are separated. That doesn't take away from anything that they dislike about trans people. Like their problems with things being quote unquote taught in schools will still exist. The restroom, the locker room, the sports, gender affirming, all of those things will still exist whether you separate these letters or not. Like it means nothing. Mm-hmm. It's just like it's what's the point in even mentioning that? Where's the guests? That's the one thing about restarting. Sometimes it's hard to get guests back up. Alright. Why are you all mean to Kirk? Dude, he unalived. I mean, if he's unalive, then it doesn't matter what we say about him. Now, does it? My lesbian and bisexual daughters have this argument all the time about certain letters being in or existing or not. I don't know. Again, I just don't understand what would be the end point of that discussion. I just don't understand what you would stand to gain from any of that coming true or not to separate the letters. Like, again, at the end of the day, we're still talking about human beings. That doesn't change it. All right, we have a guest, guys, finally. Sorry it took this long. Hey, Don.
What's going on, man? You remember
Not
me?
much. Vaguely, yeah, sorry. Jog my
Okay.
memory. Sorry, I speak with a bunch of people. What did we speak about last?
Yeah, I'm MAGA. I don't care
Yeah.
much for the gay community at all.
What did we speak about last?
I think it was either gays or women. I'm not a fan of either group, but yeah, we spoke about that the last time. We were talking about how women go to the gym and take pictures of their butts. Remember that? And they're always like, "What are you looking at in the gym?" Remember that?
Unfortunately.
Remember that or not? Okay,
Unfortunately.
all right. You hit the iron today or what?
I trained clients at the gym today. I did not work out myself though.
Yeah, I'm about to go hit this cardio after I get off this one. I'm just charging my phone up. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the gays.
Hold on. What don't you like about women taking pictures of their butt in the gym?
I just find women to be annoying. I think they need to get out of the gym. They're in the way. They come in there. It's not serious to them. They come in there for superficial reasons. Well, we're all superficial to a certain extent.
I mean,
but they come.
Yeah, every guy I know works out for superficial reasons. Just about.
Nah, I mean, you could play sports. You definitely need strength.
Women don't play sports?
Most of the ones in the gym don't. And if they do, they don't do it at a good level.
Okay. But this is why it's hard to have a conversation with you, because I think, while I know you're definitely joking to some degree, I think part of you is not. So it's kind of hard to have a conversation.
Bro,
when like you're not being entirely serious.
But women have they not ruined a gym?
Can we have a serious conversation, and can you just be serious?
I know, but just I'm serious.
Okay, but then that's even more problematic. How have they ruined the gym?
Because the gym was a place for men. It was a place for men to come work out. They've turned it into a fashion show.
Says who, though, Don?
What do you mean, says who? I remember the gym pre-COVID. Like, there wasn't a bunch of women in the gym.
Women definitely worked out prior to COVID.
Not like they do now.
But that sounds like
not
a you
like
problem,
they do now.
Because it's like post-COVID.
Hold on a second. Who's that? Okay. Do you want to talk about women or the gays?
I actually do want to continue talking about this. I know it's not directly about the topic,
women. Yeah, I find women to be annoying, bro. They're just annoying.
Well, I think
they got full face of makeup. What'd you say?
I think we found the root of the problem. Then, if you find them to be annoying, then
they're annoying. They've changed the gym culture. They've changed it. Yes, there were women that were in the gym, 5-10 years ago. Like, there were some, but to the level that it is now, that's ridiculous. They go into the gym just to post on social media and take pictures of their butt and take up space. And if men behaved like that, if men behaved like women in the gym, they get beat up.
It just sounds like you've become hyper aware of the women in gym settings. Like, you just didn't care about what they were doing 10 years ago and something changed.
They weren't in there like that.
And now you're just hyper aware of everything they're doing.
But they were not in there like that, like they are now. Are you telling me that there isn't a culture of doing this now?
I think that it shouldn't matter and it shouldn't bother you.
Okay.
Because, but here's the deal, and you're going to say this is different, and you're going to say it's not the same. This was the same rhetoric that was said about Black people when they started getting the ability to go into certain spaces where they previously didn't. The exact similar-ish rhetoric, right? That
Black people can be annoying.
Okay.
Do you know black? Do you live around? Are you black?
I just done. I can't.
I'm
Like this is
black, and I
why.
know black people are annoying.
Okay,
Yeah,
you are
which is the
black.
first reason why when we get us a little money, we run to a white neighborhood.
What the?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. The first time black people get a little bit of money, the first place they go to is away from other black people
Well,
to
it's
go
not a
live
white
around white people.
neighborhood. It's a neighborhood in which there's a higher income, and disproportionately we see those
More
neighborhoods that
safety.
happen to have white people, but it's not because they're white. It's because of the higher income and the
Uh-huh.
socioeconomic class status.
Uh-huh. You don't think it's because of safety reasons and
Well, no,
quiet?
because
You don't think?
and I don't want to continue on in this conversation, but I think you can
I
agree.
know
I
it
would
makes you
hope that there's.
uncomfortable.
Well, no, but you would be insinuating that there's something about the skin color of black that makes them inherently violent.
Well, I'm not saying it makes them violent, but I think black people are different than white people. Yeah.
Well, I mean, all
I mean,
humans
if
are.
I would
I
say,
mean,
if I
every
were to
human
say
being,
black
but all
people
human
run,
beings are different. But every
well,
human being is
you,
different from any
Mr.
other
Well,
different
okay,
human being.
Mr. Jim, bro, if you want to talk about athleticism, there's definitely difference in athleticism between
Okay,
the two groups of
I
people.
really don't want to continue forward with this conversation.
Okay. You want to talk about the gays now?
We can get back. Yeah, all right, we'll swing it back to that. What about
Okay.
the gays, quote unquote?
Okay. Well, the gays are also annoying, but the only gays I have respect for is white gay men because they create good stuff. They create like Tom Ford, they create Gucci and all of that good fashion stuff. So white gay men are fine.
I'm
But
not
the rest of
surprised.
the rest of them are they're just annoying. They're just like a drag on society. And I should be able to say so without people getting offended. The same way that people should be able to say black people are annoying
Oh
or
my
whatever.
God.
Stop
Drag on it.
going back to that.
Jesus,
Please stop going
dude.
back to that. Please.
No.
Hi,
Oh,
Snapchat.
okay, I'll stop coming back to it, but I'm just saying people got to be able to express themselves.
You can express
You
yourself however you
realize, like,
want, but
you
Oh
realize
God,
that
it's a woman up
everything,
here.
like, oh my God. You realize that every single group
Here
you
we
just
go.
mentioned
okay,
Look
let her
at the
speak. Done.
woman
is,
take. Oh,
Done.
look at her
Done.
profile picture. Look at the woman's profile picture doing exactly what I said.
Oh, Snitch, were you here when he
Did
was
you just,
complaining
like-
about women in the gym?
Look
Were
at
you here
look at
when he
her
was complaining
are
profile
you
about that?
picture.
fucking for
Bro, did
real?
you just
He
like
was
delete
com-
the upper half of her body? Like
He was complaining about women in the gym. Done.
Yeah,
I
taking
can almost
pictures of
guarantee
their
you.
butts.
I can almost
Yeah,
guarantee you that
buddy,
she's stronger than you.
just out of
Stronger than me when
curiosity,
it
how
comes
much
to
do you
what?
bench? How much you bench?
Yesterday I hit 220. I don't go for as much weight anymore because I'm older. So like I just do 220 for
Yeah, that
reps.
tracks. That tracks. You want to know
Okay.
what my max is right now?
How old are you?
Let her state her
23.
max. Let her state her max.
Go ahead. Let me hear this one.
Would you want to know that my max is your max? Or what you're
So you do
benching?
220 for reps?
That's not what you said.
No, I
Okay.
said this is my max.
Okay, I don't max out. I don't play football anymore. There's no reason for me to max out. That's for like I've already done this. Like that's another thing. You women do this stuff now because you want to take pictures. Okay,
Okay,
where
how
were
much-
you
how
at
much do you
16 and
squat?
17
How
years
much do you squat? Oh, I was benching 185 at 16
At
and
16,
17.
did you
Yeah.
play a sport? What sport did you
No.
play a sport? Okay.
No.
Like I said, I don't believe that you at 16 and 17 were in the weight room. I don't believe that at all. I think that's cap.
Okay, how much do you deadlift?
I don't deadlift anymore.
Do you squat?
Yeah.
I do squat,
Well-
yes.
Okay, how much you squat?
Hey, Amber.
370, I think but I do it for reps. I don't max out anymore.
For reps. You do it for reps?
I'm over the age of 30, dummy.
Are you including the bar?
Oh my God, of course. I don't once again, I don't believe that you squat that. I don't believe that at all. And I don't believe that you're natural either squatting that.
Well, hold on.
No, I've never said that I squat that. I just don't believe
Okay.
you squat 370 because
Okay, that's
370
fine.
is how much most people deadlift. You got a
Most
face photo?
people deadlift?
Don, I have a hard time believing you squat that much because every time I hear somebody say they squat, hold on, I'm in the middle of talking. Every time I hear somebody
much does this
say
guy squat?
I squat X amount, they're squatting like 3 inches down. Like they're like several inches away from even
Okay.
what would be
Also,
remotely
just so
closest
you
parallel.
know, 370 pounds is how much most like world-class powerlifters
For squats?
are going to squat for reps.
For
just
squats.
so you know.
Yeah, I'm not a power lifter.
Yeah, you don't squat
I'm
370.
a former. Okay. Okay, I don't
I
squat
don't
370.
believe you.
Okay.
How tall are you and how much do you weigh?
6 foot tall, 187 pounds.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Okay, that's fine. You're fine to believe whatever you want to. I don't believe that you don't go to the gym with a full face of makeup on.
I don't wear makeup,
Okay,
asshole.
let's see this. Okay, let's get on this profile.
Bro, her videos are on. Like, you can check out her content. She has plenty.
And just
of
so you
videos and
know,
clips.
I'm a master's
You are
student in
extremely
physiology.
unattractive. First off, let's start with that.
Well, at least I have a boyfriend.
Second off, you have a what?
At least I have a boyfriend.
But you on here flirting with me.
I'm not
You're
flirting
on here
with you.
I
You're on
don't
here flirting
think
with me.
that's
You
what-
got a
touch you with
boyfriend.
10-foot
I don't
pole.
Listen, I'm here to talk to my friend, the host. Nobody came on here to talk.
Oh,
to
I'm
you.
not your
No one's
friend.
friends with you.
Ugly,
I'm not
ugly
your friend.
Betty. Ugly
Doug,
Betty.
Oh my god.
That's exactly
Done. Just a reminder, everybody else.
bland woman I've ever seen.
Done. I want to point this out real quick. Everybody else
Spread your
shits in their
legs.
face but you.
Oh,
So
you're
you
disgusting.
Get your gay ass up.
When you call other people unattractive, it is kind of wild that you're the only one.
You're a
hiding your
homosexual,
facial
bro.
physique.
You're a homo.
Well, this is
I'm
true.
not talking-
This is actually true. You are the only one up here without your face shown.
I don't have to do.
I think it's very
Yeah.
telling.
You keep
Very
muting.
dumb.
Also, where's your long-term relationship for over
Shut
3
up,
years?
woman. I'm talking.
Super
Talking
brave
to
of
the
you
host.
to hide behind
You
the
let-
PFP.
Done. You're hating from
You let
outside
men
the club.
talk, please. That's
Oh
what I'm
my
saying.
god.
Why can't
You're not a man. You're a little
can't
boy.
women-
Are you crying to Doug right now?
Yeah.
They always
I think
do.
he is.
They love doing
This is
that.
crazy, dude.
Okay, you got an ugly Betty and a tranny at the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, cue
A
the
tranny.
violation that you just
Cut the
got.
penis.
Cue the violation that you just got.
why are you thinking about my junk? I don't even think about it that much.
By the
Sorry,
way, I'm
guys, for
following
having
you
to
because
do
you
that.
look buff.
Who?
Who?
Blythine.
Oh, thank you. What?
I always follow my fellow women
Thank
on the
you.
panel.
What's up, Corey? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm cuddling with my dog right now.
That gave me
How much of that did you hear?
that was so painful.
I heard him talking about how much. So I came in when he was talking about how much he could squat,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, so we're just making up numbers now." Because like I have two friends who just competed in powerlifting meet, and they were like they're huge dudes, and they have been training for 6 months. They were squatting some pretty impressive weight, and there's no way that guy.
That's
with
what
his
I'm
measurements was gonna
saying.
do that.
That's like how much professional professional either bodybuilders who are on a crap load of gear or like professional powerlifters max or like triple. They never do that for like
Squatting in the upper threes, like 2 depth, 4 reps, right? I don't know what you call 4 reps, but say like I don't know, like 6 plus,
I
whatever.
consider like 4 to 6 like for reps, and there's no way
Okay,
you
sure.
can do that.
Yeah, anybody who can squat like 3 upper threes, like for say 5 reps, they would have very, very developed legs for the most part, like barring any exceptions. So I highly doubt that would be him.
Like I don't want. Like I'm by no means like very muscular or strong. I can squat like 320 like 4 times, right? And I'm bigger than Dunn is just by the counts. So there's just no way he's doing that weight.
Also,
My best squat in competition was 451, and I was able to squat like mid threes for reps and stuff like that. But I also have pretty developed legs though.
I mean, you were also like powerlifting. Like he was clearly
Yeah.
not powerlifting. I could bench as much as he could for reps. I have very, because also I know that bench is like mainly chest movement, but you do use leg drive.
Oh, for sure. For sure, you.
I have,
if you know if you know how to properly bench, like you actually use your
Yeah.
quadriceps to some degree by really digging them into the ground.
I have no confidence that he actually squats to depth 370 because at peak, even my boyfriend who is a powerlifter who could deadlift 500 at max and like squat 4 plates, like he wasn't doing 370 for like that many reps. Like that was like very difficult for him to do. And he was like an actual powerlifter. So what we saying here?
Yeah, it depends. There's some people that have like relatively high maxes, but like for what they can do for reps, like doesn't really equate to what you think it would based on their max. I've come across some people like that. Let me bring this guy stuff over here. Garrett, hello.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing? I just need to know your age real quick, just for TikTok terms of service, please.
27.
Thanks, man. All right, what's up?
What's up, dude?
Not much, man. What do you want to talk about in relation to the background?
I mean, I'm not MAGA. I'm a nationalist. Why do you hate the LGBT ABC plus community?
There it is, guys. Your bingo card. Cut out your bingo. Yeah, cross one out on your bingo card.
I crossed that out. Yeah, I crossed that out. But I mean, I don't hate them. I just wish they would stop pushing like propaganda out on everybody. Like,
such as?
Like, I mean, well, let's see here. A lot of people like to push that, like, I'm gay, I'm this and that on other people, like somebody really cares. I mean, in today's society, no one gives a flying crap if you are a trans, you're gay, and people who make it about their whole personality. I mean, dude, I have the most disrespect for them, ever.
But
like,
unfortunately,
I don't care.
But unfortunately, though, the YouTube comment section, which I'm streaming again, would say otherwise. They seem to very much care about those things.
I don't care. I don't care what other people think.
But your whole argument was that nobody cares about these things. There are plenty that care if you're gay or trans, but except for the people in the comment section and the people and the guests that I get up every time I do this live stream.
Also, except for you, who seems to have a problem with people saying that they're gay.
I have a lot of gay friends. I got gay family members. I don't care. Actually, I'll tell you what they say is they like gay people, but here's the thing. This comes from my sister. She don't like fags because they make it about their personality.
God fucking damn it.
Well, you're such a funny guy. You can tell he was trying to say that for the longest time because he just couldn't hold back his laughter. Because that's just such. Because guys, that's like such a funny thing to say that. Like it's just hilarious.
Keep in mind, these are the same people who get mad at me when I call them silly geese. Like I hate them.
Yeah, hate is a strong word, but it works in that context. By the way, what?
That dude who I stitched on the whole raw milk thing, he just made another video not only calling me a bish, but also literally taking a bite out of raw meat.
No, not the broccoli head kid who was talking about raw milk, and I'm assuming the one who said that you were misreading the studies, and then you pointed out everything he got wrong on the study.
Yeah, he basically cited 3 studies, but he didn't actually cite 3 studies because he didn't read them. Then he proceeded to make a response video where he misinterpreted the study again, the same study, by the way, and then made another follow-up video because now he's crashing out, literally eating a piece of raw meat and calling me a B word.
It's such a weird hill to on a live on. David, thanks for the 5 on the blue out with a V. I appreciate you, David. Let me read your comment out loud real quickly. It says, okay, we see the arms. Wait, we see the arms all the time. Show us the legs, Doug. I'm joking. Don't worry. LOL.
Go, David.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I have like 1 or 2 posts of like me squatting or something like that on my TikTok. And every time I walk this way, you guys see them. You just have to wait for that moment.
I don't know where you're located, but wherever you're located, if I'm ever in the area, we got to get a lift in together.
I would love that. I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Next time I'm in Florida.
I've actually ran across Lane Norton a few times here. I think we spoke about him a couple times, or at least once. But yeah, I've seen him in a few different gyms that I've been at.
How's the climate change down there?
He's a nice guy in person. How's what? The climate change?
Yeah, how's the climate change down there? I know y'all have it really bad.
What do you mean?
Come on, Snitch. Everybody knows climate change isn't, it's just the climate's always changing.
Oh my
It's not
god.
a problem.
Whether it's in Florida or it's like the tornado, what is it called? The tornado.
Tornado Alley. It's
Yeah,
moved
Tornado
south.
Alley.
Climate change.
Tornado Alley, California, and Florida always seem to be having like the worst weather ever. Or not like the worst weather ever, but like the worst weather disasters during like specific
I see what you're
seasons.
saying. Hurricanes are overrated. Like people that don't live in the state of Florida or states that get hurricanes seem to think that like they're the scariest things ever. And like, yeah, obviously, if it's a really bad one that hits you directly, for sure. But like, it's a lot less common than you would think, especially in Tampa, because we're on the West Coast. The way hurricanes occur, they don't typically, if ever, hit Tampa directly. So if you live on the West Coast, yeah, you're not really going to get hit. Gabby, did you mean to hit the request button? Gabby, let me know in the comments if you meant to hit the request button. But yeah, no. If you wanted to live in Florida and not deal with hurricanes, you would want to be on the West Coast. Not saying that there's a 0% chance, but it's less likely.
That's nice.
Yeah.
See, I'll live where it snows because I never have to worry about hurricanes. And shoveling counts as cardio and weightlifting. It's basically like Midwestern CrossFit.
Let me guess, Michigan?
No, I grew up in Wisconsin. I live in Chicago now.
I'm in Iowa, so we just have a lot of corn sweat.
Oh, you guys are pretty close then.
Yeah.
Corey, I was born. I think I told you this. I was born and raised in Chicago. My parents moved away from there several years ago. Otherwise, I'd be there a handful of times a year. But I went to Chicago again last year. Last summer I was there. It was really nice being back though. Being in the city, it was terrific.
I used to have most of my dad's family used to live in Florida, so I used to go down there a lot more, but I haven't been in, like 15 years.
Oh, really?
All my family's in New York, so like sometimes I go up there. I will say New York cold is probably the worst cold I've ever felt in my entire life. Even living in Michigan, it was so much worse in New York.
We do have the lake effect in like Michigan, like in parts of Wisconsin and like Chicago. The worst cold I ever had was the polar vortex when I was in like near the Twin Cities. That was
about 10 years ago. I think that was like 2014, 2015, something like that. I remember when that happened. Yeah, there was like sub-zero temperature, like negative 20, 30 something. I remember.
Someone just commented, even Iowa winters. All I'm saying is, if you think Iowa winters are bad, you never want to go to New York during wintertime and stay on the East River, like where I actually used to live. New York winters, I'm not even kidding you. When I was walking home from work back in high school, my pinky toes and my pinky finger all turned purple.
Oh, you must have been outside for a while. You're talking about New York City?
I was outside for 20 minutes. It was really bad. Yeah, I used to live in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, New York gets cold for sure, but like, there's definitely colder places in the U.S.
East River, New York is.
Okay, well,
Manhattan's not so bad.
Well, okay, I guess it can vary and stuff, but like what I'm saying is like places like North Dakota and like that whole bullshit area of, I don't know why anyone would want to live there. That area gets really cold. So I've been told.
Michigan winter is not that bad.
I guess it depends on where in Michigan you are, but I'd imagine some.
That's true. That's true.
Cold.
Up towards what's it called? Oh man, I don't even remember what it's called. CSU. Up towards CSU, it's really bad, but towards like UMich, it's pretty good.
Gotcha.
And like in should be Wisconsin, Michigan, it's usually pretty nice in the wintertime. It's just fun for like snowmobiling and stuff.
Yeah, X-Ray Cat. I was gonna say that I guess it's called what? Yeah, the Upper Peninsula. Yeah, I'd imagine that gets called Minnesota, especially northern Minnesota, can get like frigid.
Yes.
Like just disgustingly cold. Disgustingly cold.
I mean, Minnesota gets rough. Especially western Minnesota. You get further away from the Great Lakes, and you no longer get like that little bit of nice warm and humidity that you get, and it's just like the plains plus Minnesota.
Just being a YouTube comment. Bros literally illiterate. Who are you referring to? D. Beat Cooper. I don't know who you're referring to. And somebody also says LG. He may have been referring to you or me. I'm not sure. And then somebody also says LGBTQ. Let's get Biden to quit. They are obsessed with Biden, like utterly obsessed with him. They have Biden derangement syndrome.
In the same way, they're obsessed with like 10% of the population, or like I don't know the actual statistic. Man,
Of the LGBT plus, yeah, it's about 10% or so.
LGBT,
Yeah.
it's about 10.
10ish.
Yeah, just like how they're obsessed with 10% of the population, and even less so for each one of the letters.
Mm-hmm. Utterly obsessed.
I don't know why. I still remember the one guy who came up here and claimed to be a part of the community, but was also saying that like he doesn't like trans people because they're bad for PR. That one has been
Oh yeah, that was. I think that was
What the
yesterday or the day
hell?
before, right? Yeah, they're bad for PR. Wow. Okay.
That's fair. Not many of us
Does he
are
think
media
the
trained.
community- Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to say, does he think the community is a business?
Basically, he's like, oh, we lost the PR war because of transgender people. And I'm like, hey, it's not a fucking PR battle, man. Like, stop saying it like that.
I'm just trying to. These comments on the tube are just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. Someone says I feel uncomfortable every time I'm anywhere near a trans. Again, that sounds like a personal problem, because if they're not uncomfortable and you're the only one that's uncomfortable, that absolutely by definition would be a you problem.
Sounds like a you problem.
And we have a celebrity president. I mean, can't be much worse than what we have now, right?
I don't know.
Oh, it can be.
Yeah, we're over 2 when it comes to presidents. Like, the 2 worst presidents we've ever had were both celebrities.
You're referring to, I assume, Reagan as the other?
Yes. Reagan.
Yep.
The only good thing Reagan ever did was my hatred of him is how I got like popular on TikTok. And I do appreciate him for that, but otherwise, no.
Popular on TikTok. Yeah. Buzzy, who I think Corey, because she's been up on the panel when you've been up. She utterly hates him as well. Like, she utterly hates him. Anytime he is brought up, she absolutely makes a point to talk about him for a while.
He has so much more reason to hate him than I do, though, because, he was a racist piece of shit. Pardon my French. But
No,
yeah.
very, very warranted. Jamie Lee Curtis for president. All right.
Please no.
Thanks for the heart of me. Again, if you're on TikTok, please hit the request button at the bottom if you want to come up and debate. If you're watching on the tube, there is a phone number. You can call on it if you want. Reagan was the best president you ever had. Trump is second, but it's close. Trump would absolutely hate Reagan, and vice versa. Reagan's policies today, Reagan would be called a rhino today. He would be called essentially a Democrat by Trump standards. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they did both ignore a pandemic happening within their borders until it was politically inconvenient for them to continue ignoring it. So,
there's overlaps for sure. There's overlaps. What I'm saying is, though, for example, Reagan's policies and viewpoints on the border and migrants, Trump would call him a communist, more than likely, based on his views.
Yeah, this is true. Just funny because Trump stole half of his political platform from Ronald Reagan, including the slogan MAGA, which is just great.
Yeah. Reagan. Yeah, no, Reagan for sure would hate Trump. Like, for sure he would. I mean, well, Bush has never said so. You can tell Bush certainly isn't fond of him. And Bush, I assume, was a Reagan fan, and I
Wait.
assume Reagan. Well, Reagan was still alive at some point when Bush was president, because Reagan unalived in 04, 03? No, it was 02, I think.
Yeah, I think W does actually hate Trump. I think W has actually explicitly stated that he does not think Trump is a good president.
I know he's heavily insinuated such. I don't remember like what exact words he may have said, but yeah, I know he certainly doesn't like him. Ooh, we have a guest. Hey, how you doing?
How's it going?
Not much, man. I just need to know your age real quickly, please.
Yes, sir. I'm 19, born in 2006.
Thank you. What's up?
So the topic is MAGA. Why do you hate the LGBTQIA?
Uh-huh.
Right? I mean, obviously, if you hate a certain group of people, you obviously there's something wrong in your life, and you have to take it out on other people.
Mm-hmm.
But hating a certain group, right? Nobody. If you hate the LGBTQIA, it's not really that serious. But if you hate them, then you're kind of like there's something wrong. But the only problem I have with the LGBTQIA is how everything is kind of made up in a way of, oh, there's this new thing, and then when you shove it down people's throats.
What can you give an example of something that you believe to be made up?
I mean, schools are having some schools are having taught about it. It's in every single like movie. They got to do like the pronouns thing. And I get it, it's America, but when you shove it down people's throats, it's kind of like...
But that's not what you're saying. But that saying has been bastardized. Like, I don't even really know what that means anymore, to be shoved down your throat, quote unquote. Like, what does that even really mean?
Kind of like calling somebody by their pronouns they want to use.
But
I'll call you by your pronouns out of respect for you.
But no, hold on. But when you're having
really
when you're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, you don't use those pronouns that you're talking about. Like third-person pronouns aren't used. Third-person pronouns are not used in a one-on-one conversation. Like if you and I are just having a conversation, no one else that is involved, I would never use he, she, they, them when referring to you. I would say you, right? Or I would call your name.
No, but if you're talking about...
If you're talking about
that person to somebody else.
Somebody, yeah, but again, you can just use their name, right? Like if we're having a group conversation, we're talking about Hootie. Yeah, I could say he said this, or I could say Hootie said this. So you're more than welcome to just call to somebody their name instead.
Right, but like if you're referring to somebody that uses, and I quote, they, them pronouns, you can't use, it's not proper English.
No, well, it actually is. We use that all the time. Hootie went to the gas station. They got a drink over there. You could use he, but we especially use it in a context in which we don't know, like, the gender of the person that we're talking about. So, like, let's say we're just talking about some random person that we don't know. We don't even know their name. We would use they went to the grocery store.
Yes, if you don't know if they are a boy or a girl, you would use they.
You can still use they, even if you do, though. You can. It would still be proper English.
But you can't refer to they as if you're referring to them as like they don't know their gender. How is that possible? If they don't know their gender, how is
who doesn't know their gender?
See, there are people out there that are like, hey, I don't know my gender, what I am. I don't feel right in my gender. I don't know what I am.
Every transgender individual, every transgender non-binary person I've ever spoken to seems to know their gender.
But when they say they don't have a gender, what does that mean?
You're talking about like non-binary individuals?
Yes. How don't you have a gender? How don't you associate yourself with gender?
Well, non-binary still doesn't mean that you don't have a gender. It just wouldn't necessarily fit into the typical like binary not spectrum, but binary system that we have as it relates to gender.
Okay.
But at the end of the day,
well,
sure, it goes.
I just wanted to mention that I think it's important to differentiate between like what we perceive somebody as in regards to like social construct type thing, and what they actually are, because biology is not so simple in that respect, where when we're talking about what makes somebody female and what makes somebody male, that's solely when we're talking about like the gametes that they produce. Do they produce large gametes? Do they produce small gametes? Do they not produce any gametes at all, but they have all the other machinery that is involved? Do they produce large gametes, but they have the other kind of organ, that they have like a second organ or something like that? They have half the organ. They maybe have like one organ, but it's producing the wrong kind of gametes. There's many different variations to what we can see in regards to gametes, and the only binary thing that you can possibly come up with is, do they produce gametes? Do they not produce gametes? And if they do produce gametes, is it a large gamete or is it a small gamete? And that's the only real binary that you can even kind of come up with, and even that still has some exceptions. So when we're talking about like gender, there's people who, like, if I took a first look at them, they're very tomboyish, and I would probably never know that they identify as a female, or they identify as a woman unless they literally told me. So I think it's really important to recognize this difference between sex and gender, because it's not correct to consider them to be the same. And the reason why I say this is there's actually quite a few women who have this, where we find out later down the line when they decide to get their chromosomes tested because they want to have kids, that they have XY chromosomes. But they have androgen insensitivity syndrome, or they have Swyer syndrome. And as a result, even though they are fully functional, they don't need any kind of like fertility treatment or anything like that. They have their period and everything else. They just have XY chromosomes. We still call them a woman because functionally they make large gametes.
Okay, this is a question. I understand what you're saying, scientific. This is a question for the host. When was the first like LGBTQIA introduced? When was it?
What do you mean? Can you rephrase that?
Like, I don't think people in the 40s or 50s or 60s were talking about LGBTQIA. So what year or how long ago was that introduced?
They weren't talking about it because all of them were in mental asylums.
I can also
some of that, yeah, certainly.
I don't really think
go ahead, Lithium.
LGBTQIA was a thing back
then. LGBTQ people have existed since the beginning of time. We have records.
Oh yes, I'm sure there was people that were gay, but then when you add in non-binary or transgender, queer, I don't know what IA means.
Intersex.
Intersex or asexual, agender.
Yeah, intersex has been around since human existence.
All of these have been around.
I don't know.
But so all of these have been around, like lesbian, gays, bisexual, all these people have existed.
Well, lesbian and gay are the same thing.
Well, I mean, typically we refer to one of them for women, but sure, they are. But whatever. Anyways, all of these people have always existed, and I would hope you would agree. Obviously, for the longest period of time, it wasn't socially acceptable to be out as such. Therefore, it wasn't something you can really talk about. Especially, it wasn't something that you can have as like a as like when it came to like pride parades or like anything along those lines, right? So like they existed, it's just only recently it's become more socially acceptable.
Oh yeah, people didn't want to say that they were they liked men back then because obviously it wasn't really like accepted at the time. But I feel like that over the past 20 to 10 years, you kind of see more of like the LGBTQIA plus type stuff. And I feel like they're kind of just adding more things to it. And then if you talk bad about it, you're in trouble.
The reason you're seeing more LGBTQIA stuff is because Republicans lost the gay marriage debate in 2015. I think that's when it was. And they needed a new boogeyman. So that's why within the last 10 years, they've decided to pick trans people, specifically with the first law, I believe it was Kansas or something, that put in the first anti-trans bathroom law.
Look, I'm a conservative. Look, it's America. You can marry a dude. You can marry a girl. doesn't matter, but it might not get recognized. But when you're having it on kid shows and
So
stuff,
that's not marriage then. Like, legally speaking, that's not marriage. If it's, hey, you can do this, but we won't legally recognize it, then that's not a thing.
yes,
Marriage is a legal concept.
marriage was designed originally to.
What?
You can get married to a boy, you can get married to a girl, but it might not get recognized. Why did I get muted, bro?
Nobody muted you. You cut out because your connection is crap.
Oh, it said that creator muted me.
Anyways, you're saying marriage traditionally was what? Because you cut out then.
I did. I said marriage was, if you go to the beginning of time, marriage was designed for a male and a female, right? And obviously over time,
Christian marriage, not all marriage.
No, I would pretty sure other religions recognize marriage between a man and a woman.
Actually, in numerous cultures, marriage was recognized as not just two people and a bunch of other stuff, right? Like,
what cultures?
For example, Sumerian culture, Egyptian culture. Much of the Fertile Crescent had cultures that did not just prescribe some sort of monogamous marriage between simply two people.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you were a Muslim and you wanted to marry a man and you're a man, it would probably not be recognized. Same for Christianity. It would probably not be recognized.
So you brought up one other religion. We're not talking about that religion. We were talking about Egyptian, and we were talking about Sumerian.
Egyptians are a religion, though.
Actually, they had religious views, but also they were an entire culture. They were perhaps one of the predominant cultures in that region of the world for several thousand years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know your history or not, but the Egyptians lasted so long that Egyptian shoot, I forget what they're called, paleontologists, I think, literally would look at like old ruins of previous Egyptian cultures because it was around for so long.
So you're saying that the culture recognized same-sex marriage?
What is this?
Saying that the idea
This
of
pasta
marriage,
thing. Why is there so little in
from
here?
the Abrahamic perspective, is not the only way that humans have looked at marriage throughout human history.
Did I? Oh yeah, talk about.
Okay, explain.
I literally did, and you said
no. Explain what you mean, though. Like, give me an
example. For example, having multiple spouses was relatively common.
Weird.
Yes, Islam.
And I mean, cool. We can bring up a modern religion, but also Christianity.
It is good.
just a reminder there. Christianity did not initially have monogamy. It was, well, I mean, realistically, Judaism. But
if we're talking about Christianity, you're saying that it recognizes same-sex marriage?
No, I'm just pointing out that the idea of how you view marriage is not the same. But also, numerous Christian churches do recognize same-sex marriage. So, like, yes.
What churches?
For example, the ELCA, the largest Lutheran denomination in the United States, recognizes same-sex marriage.
Very good.
Well, the church isn't. The church is separate from God, though. If
Are they
you can be part of the church.
Not Christians? Are they not? You said which church recognizes it, which Christians recognize it. So now you're moving the goalposts.
Well, no, you can be part of the church. The church is separate from God, though.
Just out of curiosity, what is your official branch of Christianity?
Me?
Yeah.
Calvinism.
Yeah, so what makes Calvinism more valid than Catholicism or Lutheranism or what was it? What was that one that you brought up, Corey?
Wait, Calvinism isn't a specific Christian church, dude. Do you not know your own religion?
I never said I didn't. I'm saying that.
Okay, so Calvinism.
Do you know what Lutheranism is, though?
Yes, I'm aware of what Lutheranism is. I was a Lutheran.
Okay.
Like there
I'm
are
saying-
Baptists, Catholic, there
I'm
are
saying
Baptists,
that
Catholics,
there are-
Methodists, right?
I don't
YouTube
support
live got
many
taken
ideas
down,
that the
which I didn't
Catholic
even think
Church
could
has.
happen.
I don't believe that you're actually eating the body of Christ. I don't believe that you have to eat you don't have to eat meat on Fridays. Some of these laws are man-made
But their
laws.
standards are so much looser than TikTok.
I'm saying,
Snitch asked you a pretty
where in
I
the
think it was one
Bible
of my
does it
guests that I
say?
challenged.
Snitch asked you a pretty specific question, and you didn't
appealed to.
answer it. Is kind of my
Who?
point here.
But the live was doing
What
really
kind
well,
of
though.
like what denomination or what like
Unfortunately.
what denomination of Christianity are you a part of?
I literally said Calvinism, Presbyterian.
Calvinism isn't a denomination; it's a philosophical position within Christianity.
Well, if you want to go actually a branch, Presbyterian.
No.
Anyways, my bad, Snitch. Continue.
So, what exactly makes your Presbyterian?
Presbyterian, yes.
Okay. Yeah, what makes that branch more valid than Catholicism or whatever other branches there are? Because Corey, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are multiple branches of Christianity.
There's a lot.
400 in the United States alone.
But
yeah, so which one?
Obviously,
why is
some
yours valid?
branches. I don't want to cut you off, but some branches are kind of like ridiculous in some ways. Kind of like belief that's not really real.
Yeah,
I don't believe
what
that.
is it? What about it is
in
wrong?
Jehovah's Witness. I don't believe
People on
that
YouTube, I
God
do not know how to mute
chooses
myself.
their
I'm
max
sorry.
people in order to go to heaven.
Don't know how to mute myself on YouTube.
And why is that a crazy belief?
Sorry.
You believe in
I
a
don't even
sky
think there's an
god, and you
option
don't
to
even
do so.
like. You believe in a sky god who made
I'm assuming
humans.
you're atheist, right?
I
do I
align
mute
myself with
myself?
evidence. So, like,
I mean, no,
based off
Evidence.
of the Bible, evolution doesn't
what
exist. The Earth is flat. So, what exactly makes your
According to the
belief so
Bible,
valid? You believe in a magic sky god.
What's your belief that there is no God?
The lack of belief is not that's just a lack of belief. It's not a positive
So you believe that
assertion.
there is no God because there's not enough evidence.
No, there's a lot of evidence. I could bring that up, but that's not the topic of the conversation here.
I mean, you kind of brought it up too.
Well,
So I
I
believe
brought
in
it up
Sky
because you're asserting that your branch of Christianity is like this really like it speaks for all Christianity when that's not true.
Did I say that?
It's
though?
one branch of Christianity. Yeah, you're literally saying that
Did I say
other
that?
branches of Christianity are not valid because
I
they
said
say
there are
crazy
some out
stuff.
there that are kind of
All branches of Christianity say
ridiculous to believe.
crazy things. So what makes yours so correct? Because you're asserting that what other branches are saying is
Because
crazy.
I believe I'm born into an evil world out there. That man is evil, and that the only thing that can save me is God.
Yeah, that's a crazy belief, dude.
How?
The fact that you're assuming that there is a God.
That's
Also,
where I'm
You're
questioning you.
assuming
That's
that
where I'm
the
questioning
universe
you.
was made for humans.
Hold on. That's where I'm questioning you. You said that I believe in a sky god. Prove to me that there is no sky god. Or sky daddy, whatever you called it.
Yeah, sure. There's literally no evidence.
Where?
Asking her to
Whatever.
prove a negative right now, and that's not typically how the conversation works. Like, I could say that there
Sorry,
is.
that was my order.
Yeah.
But there's literally no evidence. So, like, unless
Where?
you can
How?
provide me, there is evidence of abiogenesis. There is evidence of evolution. There's evidence of round Earth. There is no evidence
I
to
believe
suggest
that
that there is
Earth
a
is
God.
round.
So, can you
I believe
provide me
Earth
with
is
any
round.
evidence that? Because every single assertion that I make,
You said that.
you keep cutting me off. Every single
Alright,
positive
sorry.
assertion that I have made thus far has evidence to back it up. Now, there are things that I don't know, but instead of putting God in the place of I don't know, I just say I don't know. So where is your evidence
Because
that there
there's
is a
no
God?
evidence.
That's not a
Did I
valid
say
statement.
Actually,
Did I say
think
anything?
I think this is an interesting position, and I do want to throw this out there because Hootie, do you affirm evolution as like the explanation for biodiversity on Earth?
Sorry, say that again?
Do you affirm evolution as the explanation for biodiversity on Earth?
Well, I don't think that evolution is what people say, that we came from animals and we came from
We are
tiny little
by
cells.
definition animal. If
We
you
are by
acknowledge
definition
evolution, we are.
animal.
Yeah, exactly.
So we just came from monkeys?
No, but so
No,
right now you just kind of.
we had a common ancestor with chimpanzees specifically. And if you look at the graded evolution of the palmaris longus muscle, it's a very great example of
how we are actually stemmed from the same, we're stemming from the same, I'm pretty sure it's family, yes, family, as other great apes. And the reason, and like, if you look at the palmaris longus muscle, just so you know, it's a muscle that's in your forearm. This forearm muscle is used for climbing. It gets progressively less developed as you get closer to humans. And it's quite literally a great example of how evolution functions, is you have certain mutations that allow for certain traits, such as building tools, getting smarter, and you have less and less of this palmaris longus muscle, which was used for swinging and climbing. Now, if you go all the way back and you're looking at the common ancestor for, let's say, old world, new world monkeys, where it branched off and where it eventually came to great apes, you're going to see even more developed palmaris longus muscles. In fact, I was actually looking at
I cannot do snitch.
Someone keeps calling me. Sorry about that. But the more you go back, the more developed you get a palmaris longus muscle. In fact, in certain animals that do a lot of climbing and jumping, like cats. Oh man,
I guess
what the hell?
the whole point I wanted to get to was like, we look at this from the perspective of like a religious view, but like if we're looking at the LGBTQIA plus community and stuff like that, if his religion forces him to deny things that we like know with near absolute certainty to be real and true, then realistically his religion is not a good guidance for concepts of gender, sexuality, and stuff like that, right? It's a bad basis to critique the LGBTQ community.
Sorry, just a quick question. He said it was a Presbyterian, right?
Did, yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at the HRC and the Presbyterian Church themselves. They're super accepting of LGBTQ people. So I guess
Well, it's on a spectrum, right? Like,
Yeah.
again, the largest Lutheran church is the ELCA, which is like super affirming of women pastors, LGBTQIA plus individuals, stuff like that. I grew up in something called the Wells, which is a smaller Lutheran denomination, which is a cult, right? So like, there's definitely with most denominations, there's definitely a spectrum with how
Yeah.
different churches are going to accept different things.
Fair enough.
Like, it took me like fucking forever. Like, I finally figured out how to do it. It took the longest time ever, but I did get it figured out. Hold on.
This is kind of why I'm glad I've never gone over to YouTube and I've just chilled on TikTok the entire time, because it's just like, you know what? I don't have to learn a whole new system.
You smell like hot sauce. All right, see ya.
Yeah, Dan, the Wells is a terrible.
All right, then leave. All right, cool. Yeah, that was an interesting conversation. That was a very interesting conversation. I was just enjoying it while I was eating my food. It was very entertaining.
Always interesting when they're just like, you know, this concept of gender binary has been part of human history. Gender, like the way that marriage works is like codified in human history. It's like, dude, there's like a third gender that's very prominent throughout most of the Indian subcontinent, which has a population of roughly like like, what is it, like 2 billion people nearly? Like roughly a quarter of the Earth's population lives in a region that accepts a third gender.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if the YouTube thing got appealed yet. I have to look. It's probably going to take a little bit. I'm not worried about it. It was just a warning. But I just have more I have to have more mods. So, by the way, guys, people on TikTok, I do need more mods on YouTube. Okay, because apparently one of the guests that I had up on the last live stream before I restarted, I guess he slurred a lot of times, and it I guess got my live. I didn't even know you can get a live taken down on YouTube because I thought they just didn't really give a shit about anything. But I guess there are limits you cannot cross. So. Yeah, no, that guest though that was just up, he said like almost every talking point that you can hear, like, oh, like we evolved from monkeys, like the classic misinterpretation of evolution, like the quintessential thing that you always hear.
Yeah, he hit that bingo. It was
Big time.
wild.
Yeah. What else did he say? Like not knowing that we're animals, like insinuating that somehow we're like somehow a different thing from an animal. Leave the kids alone. There's another bingo card spot that you guys can check
It's
off.
always fun for me because they'll be like, yeah, we're mammals, but we're not animals. I'm like, I don't think you know how words work.
Guys, I have a Honda, but I don't have a car. How many mods? I don't have a number. I just need more. I just need more mods. So, what I would need if you want to become a mod, you have to let me know on TikTok. Like I guess message me. Yes, message me on TikTok. And then let me know your username on YouTube. And then either now or next time I stream on YouTube, just let me know in the comments and then I'll mod you. Scientists think chimpanzees are basically entering their version of a Stone Age. That's fascinating. That is really weird to think about, though, of like, because we seem to be of this mindset, and I think this is natural for humans to think this, that like we have evolved as far as we can ever be, right? But like, no, like we will continue to evolve to what? I don't know. We don't know. But like, that is kind of interesting to think about. What will humans evolve to in the next million plus years if humans exist then?
Well, like, and again, it's going to be, humans in a way have kind of beaten evolution on Earth, at least, because like we're just kind of dominant. But like, if we were to ever colonize the stars, yeah, we're going to change depending on the environment and stuff like that. But also, like, I can drink milk. There are people on this planet who cannot drink milk without having disastrous side effects. That is literally an example of evolution taking place over just the past 10,000 years.
Yeah, the appendix, that would be a good example. I read one time, and take this with a grain of salt, that like we will over time get taller, I believe it was. I forget what the reasoning for that was, but yeah, but no, almost certainly we will colonize like the moon or or wherever else. I mean, we're gonna have to at some point. Like, Earth is not gonna last forever, and it may last a much shorter time than we want it to, depending on things. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to go to the moon and beyond at some point. Not for our generation, but for future generations.
There's one thing I learned from the baby boomers, is that I don't care about the other generations. So you know what? I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette and drive a Humvee. We got this.
Look at this comment. So if you tell a 12-year-old they are probably a man in a woman's body, you've already said something really stupid there, because a 12-year-old wouldn't be a man or a woman. They would be a boy or a girl. So that's the first concerning thing you said. And that they should shower with you to feel safer. That's concerning. That is oddly specific, lost memory. That has nothing to do with being trans. That just has to do with being a creep. Okay? There are plenty of creepy people who would want that won't tell you you're a girl or like the what? Like, that's such a weird thing to say. And it just leads me to think, like, I'm sorry, but the ones that say, like, trans people are groomers or people support trans people are groomers, it just leads me to think that you are the ones that are projecting. Like, if you have to go out of your way to, like, make that claim so much, so loudly, I really truly think you're hiding something.
Oh, someone in the YouTube chat was asking for the number.
Oh, well, David just posted it. He posted every so often. And that's another reason why I
Okay.
need more mods, because I don't, and I'm sure David doesn't want to be the only one posting it. But he just can't be on all the lives, and even if he can, I don't think he necessarily wants to be the only one posting it. So yes, if you are going to be a mod of mine, if you can just at least commit to, on occasion, posting the phone number in the chat, that'd be great. That'd be one of your duties. The other one would just be just modding the comment section, essentially. It's true, though. Why does a kid need to worry about what they are in school? In regards to what specifically?
Do you guys think that people just walking up to kids and being like, "Guess what? You're a boy." Like that's not.
I think they
No,
think that's what's happening. I would love to just like watch a movie of the reality that they think exists, because it would just be very entertaining to watch. Yeah, that would be one of them. Teachers going up to every student and saying, "No, you're not a girl, you're a boy, because I say so, because I want to push the trans agenda."
You're a girl now, Timmy. Here's your Barbie. Like I don't.
And you must take these hormone blockers, or else. Government mandated neo pronouns. You get the pronoun z, zer, and you must use those.
We got a wise guy, eh? Well, welcome to non-binary life there, Steve.
What's pink pilling? This person in the comments wants me to address pink pilling. I don't know what that is. Are we Googling it? Let me know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Pink pilling. If I were to guess, before you tell me, hold on. Before you tell, I'm going to take a guess. I assume it's some sort of ideology of relating to trans people, of telling them their gender. I don't know. Tell me. I have no idea, actually.
No, it's something that like black pillars use to describe like feminists.
Oh,
apparently.
Well, I still don't know what that means, though. Like what?
Oh God!
What is it?
That's as far as I got.
Pill definition. It's a problem when you're telling me, you're trying to insult me or like criticize me or something by something that I need to like Google. Pink pill definition. What is pink pill? Here. What is pink pilling? I've heard this term thrown around a lot. All right, so there seems to be a lot of uses. Pink pilling is basically okay. Yeah, this is okay. Being indoctrinated into incel beliefs, but for women. Okay. Pink pilling is the whitewashing of feminism. Okay. Pink pilling is used as a transphobic idea suggesting that straight cis men are indoctrinated into being trans women or cross-dressers. Okay. And also another one, pink pilling is an indoctrination into TERF ideology. But there doesn't even seem to be a basic understanding of what it is. These were just different ideas of what it could be, I guess. I don't even know. I don't know. The person who said it in YouTube, why don't you just tell me what it is? Okay.
200%. Okay, prove that number. Lost memory cards.
Oh, it's a problem that there are 200% more trans children today than there were 10 years ago, but no grooming. Well, what does that have to do with grooming? You're the one who's sexualizing that. That's something you have to work out with your therapist. that you are sexualizing that, for one. And number two, there very well could be more trans people today than there are then, in the sense that there's more identifying as it because they are a little more accepting to come out as such. Again, it goes back to, and I notice this is something that's said often, but like when being left-handed was more accepted, it's not that more left-handed people just started existing. They were just more comfortable being left-handed in public. So, like, I don't understand the problem. You have to show that all of these people are being quote-unquote groomed into being trans. For what reason? Why would that, like, what would be the motivation?
So, a friend of mine told me a new slur for left-handed people, and as a left-handed person, I love it, but also hate it.
I'm also a lefty. What is it?
An ink swiper.
Oh, that's so good.
An ink swiper. Oh shit, I like that. That was very good. An ink swiper. A power dynamic is typically the motivation to, I guess, convince someone to be trans. But if you want to have a power dynamic, why do you have to convince them to be trans? You can just have the power dynamic as is. That makes no sense. You guys have to come to a common consensus on what the fuck you believe is happening amongst you people.
I do actually love the fact that, like, especially with the most bigoted people, there are like these divisions on where the bigotry is, or like what the problem is with different communities.
I do find that to be somewhat amusing. Gosh, I don't even know what to. All right. I blame on the Sears catalog. Okay. Like it. Yeah, I don't know. You guys still haven't given a sufficient answer as to like what would the motivation be to want to convince kids to be trans? Because a power dynamic, I'm sorry, is just not a motivator. You don't need to go through all these hoops to convince them to be trans. You can just have your power over them without doing that. As we have saw for centuries and centuries and centuries, when older people have been around young kids, without trans people really being open in society at all. So it's ridiculous. It's just too much to keep. The call-in number is you have to scroll up a little bit. You'll find it. However, if more people ask, we'll put it in the comments again here.
I want to say too.
No, I'm just reading these comments. You're fine. You can go.
Let's say, like, I could come up with a better conspiracy theory for why people promote trans rights than like what these bigots come up with, and it's just and it could be something as stupid as, oh, transgenderism was invented by Macy's because they knew that they were gonna need to sell more men's clothing in 10 years. Like, somehow that makes more sense.
That does make more sense. That like definitely makes more sense.
As somebody who owns stock in Macy's, you guys could do it. Do it.
So, lost memory cards, I would love for you to explain. He says kids shouldn't be going anywhere where drag queens are. You are sexualizing them. You're the one sexualizing them. You guys are sexualizing everybody. Drag queens are not inherently sexual. I don't even need to use the word inherently. They're not sexual. If you think a man dressing in women's clothing is sexual, that says more about you than it does them. And that's fine if you're sexually attracted to that. There's a whole space on Grindr for people like you. And I promise you'll have more than enough people there to speak to if that's what you're into. But you're the one sexualizing them, not the other way around. Oh gosh, sometimes I need a break from these people. Keep tapping and sharing, guys. We're looking for opposition, please. All right. Oh, David, I think you're a friendly. I seen a request box. Wait, are you? Let me check. No, you're not actually. Come on up. Hello, David.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you doing?
How am I doing? Fine.
The way that you said "How am I doing?" as if that's like a question that's never been asked before.
Yeah, MAGA,
How,
what?
I just need to know your age real quickly before we
19.
converse. Thank you. Okay. So, what's your opinion on the background?
MAGA, why do you hate the LGBTQ IA plus community? Yeah. What I would just say is that's just kind of presupposing that they already do. Can you give me some motivators on why they hate the LGBTQ IA plus community?
Yeah, they think it goes against their religion. They think it sexualizes kids.
Okay.
They think it's forcing some sort of agenda
Okay.
upon people.
Okay. Let's start with the first one. It goes against their religion. Okay, so
Mhm.
so that's hate. So question. So them saying that LGBTQ communities is bad because they do this immoral thing that is found in their religion. That is them hating them. That's a hating.
No, the hate. I mean, there's certainly many aspects of hate via their rhetoric, but I think ultimately it shows via their actions of voting for an individual and a party that
Yeah,
has an
but
entire agenda to take away or at least infringe upon these people's just rights and basic humanity.
your first reason on why MAGA hates them is because they say that it goes against their religion. What? I don't know why you're switching up. What? You are just going to this sidetrack ramble. I mean, just stay on your first reason. What?
Hey, I'm sorry, but
I,
why do you got the two lightning bolts right next to your name?
yeah.
Because it's tough. Yeah,
It's
No.
tough. Do you
No.
know,
Yeah, it's tough to
it's
be a.
it's
David?
tough.
David,
So
do
I
you know
can't
No.
LARP as one.
Nope.
David, do you know what that symbolizes? Let's just be
Oh,
clear
he
about that.
knows.
You know
He
It's
what
tough.
knows. Nope. We're
so
not going to get past this one.
yeah, so
This
Giggling.
awkward
Someone
laugh. I know
tickling
this
you?
awkward. His awkward laugh is very awkward.
here, I'm gonna. You know what, David? I have see. This is not my life, but I do typically have an idea when I deal with people like you, and it is, when we talk face to face. I'll turn my camera on too.
Question. Corey. You find that fascism is bad? The ideology of fascism that the state should be everything.
I do find fascism to be bad. Yes.
Okay, so do you find the Spanish fascist dude to be bad?
What was his name?
Phalangist?
Phalangist. So you're talking about the Spanish fascist guy. Are you talking about the leader, or are you talking about an ideology that was indeed fascist?
I'm talking about. Do you find all types of fascism is bad? I just
Yes.
named you a other
Every
one.
type of fascism is bad.
Okay. So let's start with the Phalangist.
No. First of all, I want you to confirm or deny this. Are you a fascist?
Am I a fascist? I'm just LARPing as one to get reactions, but
So
I'm
you're-
I
Why?
but yeah,
Why-
I'm
why-
So
a
David,
distributionist.
A what?
I'm a Catholic distributionist. Catholic distributionism is basically the idea that economically the economic system should be family centric, and private property should be given to families. It is just against capitalism and socialism.
like
But yeah.
JD Vance fascist. He's a JD Vance equivalent fascist.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Like, why should we even speak to him?
Yeah, this seems
Like,
incredibly.
it just seemed like why, like, there's nothing to gain from speaking to you here.
But yeah, wait, so you guys fascism repulsive? I mean, yeah.
I mean,
It's weird that you don't.
Yeah.
repulsive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
Well, as
want to.
opposed to
I think it's bad because it's unproductive. I mean, yeah, but if we like, talk about the ideology itself, the like, kind of idea that the like state should be everything. If we just take that core idea,
That's
what's
not
the argument for like, that being bad? And I would not say that fascism is.
Hold on. There is literally an entire historical basis. There's a little event. I'm just gonna remind everybody real quick. I don't know if you guys heard about this in your history classes. It took place in this little country called Germany back in like the 1920s to the 1940s. Led to 11 million in conservative estimates,
Okay.
people being unalived.
Okay, so fascism, the whole thing of it is bad because you have historical examples of like, fascist societies and leaders doing bad stuff. Well, question. Let's use that same logic with the like Spanish fascist.
David, name a single fascist country that has ever not committed human rights or
question.
atrocities.
Corey, tell me some major atrocity that the Spanish fascist phalangist.
That's not what you're.
Tell me what
like,
they did.
Representing. You have
Tell me
the
what
two
they
lightning
did.
bolts. You're representing the
tell me
German
what
one
they did.
specifically.
Yeah, specifically, dude, you are representing online Nazis. I want to be clear about that. No, David, the lightning bolt specifically is a neo-Nazi call sign and like a dog whistle on the internet.
Okay.
Let's be clear about this. But if you want me to bring up like Franco, the entire Spanish Civil War was rife with human rights abuses by the fascists on Franco's side. They marched through the countryside and unalived, unarmed civilians left and right if they did not adhere to the nationalistic ideals. So, like, my guy, that's a whole thing that fucking happened. But be clear about this. You are representing the neo-Nazis right now. You're not representing other fascists.
So
you are the worst of the worst.
I just want to make it clear: are you supporting fascism and or backing it up?
Am I supporting fascism?
Are you supporting it, defending it, anything like that?
But I mean, I do find the
yes or no. Just,
the
fact. Can you please answer the question? Are you supporting or defending fascism?
I do kind of support the Spanish fascists, but not the like main ones.
Nah, the fact that you couldn't even really answer it directly was problematic. Like, I don't know why you can't answer a basic fucking question. It's annoying that these people exist. It's really annoying. Let me up, says him. Wait, this is a different guy, right? The one with the. This is a different one, right? The one that says "Let me up."
He has the same. He's got.
They might be the same Discord.
Yeah, it's almost definitely the same Discord.
Well,
I want to point out the first two letters of his username, and then whatever. Also, 1488. Fucking yes, he's literally a neo-Nazi. 1488. Are you fucking kidding me?
No. That's LARP. That's LARP. I'm just a classical fascist.
Fucking leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about you LARP not being in this fucking live, you piece of shit?
Yeah. Hell Hitler, nigger. Hell.
Yeah, there it is.
You know your account is most likely to be taken down when you say those things, right? Like 99% of the time, it's your account getting taken down.
Usually just like gets your account reported because you're a fuck. Whatever.
It's really, really stupid. It's really stupid. Corey, how did you get a violation?
Apparently, I'm the bad guy here. My bad, everybody. Sorry.
God, TikTok is just the worst. I'm sorry, TikTok, but you just are. That's gonna be a hard block right there. All right, keep tapping, sharing. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Corey's not banned. That's not how it works. Lost memory. Who has nothing better to do with their life but to obsess over people that you hate. It's not banned. That's not what that means. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to me if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on TikTok, also subscribe to me on YouTube. I know I say this often, but I still can't grasp the idea of being in somebody's live of a person that has completely opposing views that I have for like 2, 3, 4 hours and just being there in the comments. Like, I just couldn't fathom that idea.
Yeah, it's silly.
I mean, responding to somebody having like a 2 or 3 comment debate back and forth in the comment section of like a Facebook, Instagram post or something is already like annoying enough. And that's like 2, 3 comments replying to each other. I couldn't imagine being in a live for 3, 4 hours of somebody I hate. I don't know. All right. Are we getting a call? It looks like we're getting a call. Let's do it. Lithium, they may not be able to hear you, unfortunately.
That's
the way
fine.
that it's set up. But you can still hang up here, of course. Hello.
I'll just be annoying in your ear.
Hey, what's going on? I couldn't hear a single word you just said. You are very muffled. You're incredibly muffled. I don't know if you're on like a speaker or something like that. Maybe if you want to like pull away from your phone or something. I mean, I can hear that you said, "Can you hear me now?" But it's again very muffled. Okay. Yeah. Are you on Bluetooth or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you can maybe get on Bluetooth or something like that, it's just it's a little difficult to hear you.
Am I ordering at McDonald's right now? What?
Guys, that's why in case you don't notice, 271K is a what's the word? I can't think of the word, but yeah, Schnazi dog whistle. All right, what's up, guys?
Okay.
Now we hear you. At least I hear you.
I'm trying to understand, like, what is the base body what now?
What is what?
Like, I'm trying to understand what the debate is about.
Oh, yeah, what is the debate about? Yes. Well, you see what it says on screen, right? Why, MAGA? Why do you hate the LGBT plus community? Did you happen to vote for? Did you happen to vote for Trump?
No, actually, I didn't. I think he's a weirdo.
He's a weirdo. Okay. Do you have some sort of problem or issue with the LGBT plus community or anybody within the LGBT plus community?
Okay, I have a sister who is trans, right? She's in the army. She has she's the whole operation, whatever. I don't have a problem per se with gay people, but my thing is this, right? I don't have a problem with gay people, but my thing is this, right? If you
Hello?
you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you was repeating. I thought we got past that already. But anyway, I have a sister that's trans, right?
Okay.
And,
bro.
Are you asking that again?
No,
Yeah.
dude, your audio is like really bad. I'm gonna have to end the call, dude. If this I'm gonna have to end the call if you keep having audio issues.
Is that better? Is it better now?
It's always been fine when you're speaking, but like you speak and then it just goes silent, and then you ask me if I'm talking to you.
Oh, not because I hear myself repeating back to myself, and then like I hear you like what you said to me earlier, and I'm confused. I'm sorry.
Okay, so go ahead about your sister again. About your sister.
All right, yeah. So like, I don't have a problem with gay people at all. But my thing is, if you're gay, like if you like men, that's cool, like men. But why do you have to be like, oh, I was born to be a girl?
What do you mean born to be a girl?
My audio is
no, you get
like, how can you be born?
No one's born to be a girl. I don't.
But that's what they always say.
Who?
Like everybody that I know is gay.
Have you ever spoken to your sister about this? Like actually had an actual like real one-on-one heart-to-heart conversation? Have you ever done that?
That's the thing. I try to talk to her about it, but she won't talk to me about it. You know what I mean?
And what's her reasoning for not wanting to?
I have gay friends.
What's her
friends,
what's her reasoning for not wanting to talk to you?
Because she thinks I'm going to judge her, but I'm not. I just want to understand her logic of thinking. Like she's a girl, right?
If your sister is a trans woman or trans girl, then yes.
She tells us all the time, like, she was like, my sister, she says, I wasn't born a girl, I was born to be a man. I'm like, how are you born to be a man?
Okay. Oh, so he's using the wrong pronouns.
Yeah, it seems like you're using the wrong pronouns. So is your sister, I'm confused. Is your sister a trans woman or a trans man? Meaning
she's a man, quote unquote now. Whatever.
Quote unquote. So
okay,
so a trans man.
That's why
okay, so your
that's
sister
why he won't talk to you.
Well, yeah. I mean it seems like your brother that you keep referring to as your sister, that's the reason why he doesn't want to talk to you, because you keep referring to him as sister. I wouldn't want to talk to you either.
Okay, so let me ask you this. All right, I'm 40 years old, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm 40 years old.
40? Okay. I got you. You're 40.
Did he walk under a bridge again?
I can't, dude. Goodbye. I can't. Your phone is just awful. Goodbye. Yeah, that's an incredibly rough 40. But yeah, that's the reason, if you're still listening, I assume that's the reason why your brother doesn't want to talk to you, because you insist on calling your brother your sister. And listen, I'm sure maybe at first it was, a little difficult to get used to it or something like that, just because for a longest period of time you referred to your brother as your sister. Okay, but like, if you do love your brother, you should be able to put that conscious effort forward to be able to refer to them as the way that they want. That shouldn't be all that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But I would imagine your brother would want to speak to you if you genuinely wanted to speak to them and like had genuine questions and actually wanted to have a heart to heart.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah. All right, I think they're calling again. Yeah, all right, we're going to try this one more time. But it's your audio, man. Hello.
Okay, I don't have on Bluetooth. I don't have on speakerphone. I'm talking to you directly to my phone.
Okay, so back to wherever we were.
All right, so like I said, I'm 40 years old, right? And she was born like 15. Okay, I get what you're saying, but see, this is my problem with it. Like, my whole life, I've known him as my sister, right? So that's like, let's say you 40 years old and your mom has another kid or whatever. Your mom has a kid and you've known him for 30 years as your brother, and then he decides one day that he wants to become a woman. So it doesn't matter how you feel about the situation. You're just supposed to say, okay, he wants to be a her now, so I have to call him.
How long has your brother been open in regards to being transgender?
About 10 years now.
Okay. So I'm just going to be straight up. You have no excuse. Now, if it was last week, okay, maybe I would be able to like give you a little bit of leadway there. But we're talking 10 years now. Like,
yeah, but this is my thing too. My kids, right? They know her or him as their aunt. So you want me to tell my kids to call you Uncle Dre now?
It shouldn't be that.
That's not right.
But that's what your brother wants, though, and that's what they. If you love them, wouldn't you want to be able to? Don't you want to not hurt their feelings?
I don't want to hurt her feelings, but isn't that a double standard, though? You're basically saying how I feel don't matter.
Yes, it doesn't matter, because you're not the one who's being affected here. Yes, it doesn't matter.
It does affect me.
That's like saying, like, like the person who raped like a woman, their feelings matter in regards to the situation. Like, no, it doesn't.
Hold on, you said a person that did what?
That I can't say the word on TikTok because I'm also on TikTok, but
Oh, okay.
raped, like the person, and I'm not comparing you to that. However, though, this isn't about you in the situation. I'm not trying to be mean or rude or anything, but it's not about you in this situation. You're not the one who's been dealing with this internally your entire life. Imagine what your brother has been dealing with internally in order to get to the point to even be open about this. It must have been extremely difficult for him to even be open, let alone to speak to you about this.
But it should be like how many you having a mutual conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't just be automatically, you gotta, like, what if it confuses my kids? You know what I mean?
What's the confusion?
Confuse my kids.
Yeah, what's the confusion?
That's basically telling my kids, like
how old are your kids? How old are your kids?
My kids are 15, 16, 12, and I just had a newborn baby.
Okay,
so I understand my newborn baby. He will know.
Newborn baby.
So
Okay. However, the other ones were 5, 6, and 2 at the time in which your trans brother became open about being transgender. That was a young enough age in which there shouldn't have been any confusion if you just told them at that time.
They were always, hey, Auntie Destiny, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But like I didn't even know how to explain to my son when he asked me. He was like, Dad, well, why I gotta call Auntie Destiny, Uncle Dre now? I didn't even know what to say, man.
Well, but then maybe, don't you think it would be good for your brother, and if you felt comfortable, you sitting around them and having a conversation as well about it? Because maybe.
And that's the thing. I tried. I said, maybe you can explain this to him.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to mess it up and make it seem like I'm trying to. You know what I mean?
Okay. And what?
He wouldn't do it, or she wouldn't do it.
What was his reasoning for not wanting to do it?
I don't know. Like he's now like alienated himself from the family and all that. And then like, okay, he got married to this girl, right? So like we have a real close knit family, right? So his wife is like going to therapy because she said when they got married, she wanted to marry a woman. She said if she wanted a man, then she would have married a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's mad at his wife because he's like, well, why you don't want to be? Because she wanted to marry a woman. She's a lesbian. She said if she wanted a man, she would have got with a man. Feel me? So my whole thing is like, I don't have no problem with gay people. If you gay, you like men, you like men. But why would you want to give up your like being a man is like a sacred thing. Just like a woman, being a woman is a sacred thing. You should take pride in being that. If you like the same sex, that is fine. That is cool. But all the other stuff, in my opinion, that's when we got to say, it's like how you think some people are psychotic. There has to be something wrong with them mentally, man.
Okay, but this is why your brother doesn't want to talk to you, because you're calling your brother psychotic. I wouldn't want to talk to you either.
I didn't call him psychotic.
You just did. You just did, though.
I was trying to make an example. I was trying to use an example.
Okay. Let me ask you this: if this was a choice in the sense of your brother just deciding, like, hey, I'm just going to be trans one day, don't you think your brother wouldn't want to be trans, considering all of the turmoil it's caused throughout your family, and I'd imagine in other aspects of their life? Don't you think they wouldn't have done this if it was a choice?
That's the problem. It just happened one day.
So maybe it wasn't a choice then. But then maybe it's not a choice.
God, I wish you could hear me, but it's not one day.
Maybe you can. Here, there's somebody else that wants to speak to you. Go, Lithium. Let me try to make this louder. Here, go ahead, Lithium.
Can you hear me, sir?
Can you hear? Did you hear, Lithium?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Can you hear me? So, it's not just one day that this happens. It's over. To you, it's just one day. To them, it could have been a month, a day, a year. For me personally, it took me 20 some odd years to figure out I was trans. I don't know if you heard any of that, but
Yeah, no, it sounds like you did.
Yeah, I heard you. You said it took you 20 years.
Yeah. Meaning it's an
So
internal
you
thing
was
that.
that feeling.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak for Lithium, but I would imagine so. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What did he say? I missed
He
it.
said so. You were. He said so. You were combating these feelings for 20 years.
For 20 years, yes, I knew I was trans. I'll be clear. I was born and raised in a conservative Christian household. I knew I was trans. I knew that there was something going on when I was about 5 or 6. When like my wants and desires didn't match that with the other boys in my classroom. I basically kept those feelings down for years. Until one day where I just really kind of sat with it, and oh, you're good. Until one day I was kind of forced to deal with it, and once that dam breaks, it's not something you can like patch up. Like once you know you're trans, once you kind of have that understanding, it's not something you can really walk away from. So in your
did they accept you or?
Oh yeah, it was the worst.
I mean, my mom is cool with this thing, and her dad cool with it. It's just like how it, you know.
No, yeah, I know. No, I get it. It was the worst time in my life. When I came out to my parents and I got their reactions, because like I said, they're conservative Christians. And we haven't really fixed that. We haven't really rebuilt that bridge since. And I'm gonna say this gently. They hold a lot of the same views that, or at least from what it sounds like, a whole lot of the same views that you do. And from what it sounds like, you haven't necessarily broken that bridge yet. But keeping on the way that you are might irreparably damage your relationship with your brother. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overstep too much there, but
it sounds like, correct me if I'm not mistaken, you would want to have a relationship again with your brother. It sounds like you have a lot of questions on your end. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
I raised all my brothers and sisters. I put them through school and all that. Like, you know, I miss those vacations when we were all out hanging out and we being silly and being cool and funny and,
for sure.
And stuff like that. It's like you like deleted a whole person that I grew up and loved, and like that person gone.
They're the same exact person though, and I think the moment that you really internally realize that your brother is the exact same person that you grew up with, they just want to be referred to as just something else just from you externally, but everything else is exactly the same. Like the memories that you guys shared, their personality, their likes, their interests, all of those are exactly the same. And I know that's hard to, and I get it's hard to accept. I get it's a little difficult to accept. I'm not going to say it's not. But I think on your end, you do need to sort of understand the amount of pain and struggles that your brother went through to get to this point as well, right? That they had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like, I want to know, like how hard was it for you to actually decide, like, okay, I'm going to tell y'all this. Like, what did you go through? How did you internalize it? Like, who was there for you when you was trying to make this decision? When you was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was you alone? Did it mess with you psychologically? Like all of that.
Are you open to like maybe I don't know if you are, to like maybe like talking to a therapist along with your brother, or you by yourself right now, or something along those lines? Are you open to talking to a therapist in general? Not saying that's going to fix everything, but I think that could be beneficial.
Hell yeah, I'll talk to a therapist. Okay, I tell you, this is what happened to me when I was a teenager in high school. I got molested, right? So I have homophobia.
Hold on, you're starting to cut out. You're starting to cut out a little bit. Did everybody hear? I don't want to. He said something rather personal, but so something unfortunate and inappropriate happened to you when you were younger, right?
Right.
Just
there was this guy in our neighborhood, and he was pretty much like molesting all the little boys in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
He was trying to what's the word they say? Grooming. He was trying to groom. Like first, what he did was when we would all be out there, because like I grew up in that. I was born in '85, so
okay.
If you were my age, you know what it was like growing up in the '90s. You go to your friend's house, you not go to your friend's door, you speak to your mom, like how these kids are things digital. You have to actually interact with people.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So he started out by like dressing up as like drag or whatever, and we were looking at him, we were like it was weird. You know, we never seen stuff like that, and that's how he would lure the kids over to his house with like video games and cookouts and shit. Like it would be normal at first, and he would do all this weird stuff.
Okay.
So it's not that. So that's my issue. And like man, what I just told you, man, I ain't even my mom. I went to therapy about it. You know, my wife knows about it, or my mom don't even know about this shit I just said. And my brother, sister, whatever, he don't even know about this. Like I want to talk to him about it because I want him to understand like the pain that I experienced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
So it's like it's a lot of.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot, and you don't have to answer any of these questions. I'm just curious. So that happened to you when you were younger. Did you say it happened to your siblings also, or or other people in the neighborhood? You said other kids.
Other people in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And if it happened to one of my siblings or something, like, because that's like, especially as a guy, you know what I mean? Growing up back then, you know what I'm saying? And I was a freshman in '99.
Yeah.
So I went through the Y2K thing and all that.
Sure.
So something like that come out, they're not looking at you as like somebody took advantage of you. They're going to look at you like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm obviously not a therapist. I'm not a trained professional or anything like that. But yes, it does sound like there is definitely a lot to unpack. It sounds like there's a lot to unpack on your end. And I think that would be incredibly beneficial for you to do that. If anything, just for yourself. But I think for the sake of like your relationships with your siblings, I think those things could get a lot better. Talking about these things and sort of being open about it. I think that would help if that's something you're open to.
Oh yeah, I already been in therapy for like man, that stuff ate me up for years, man.
And you spoke about that?
I don't even like it.
You spoke about that you spoke about that in therapy, or?
Oh yeah, it took me a while to get to that point.
Sure.
They did something called it's called a family will or something. And it's like it starts from like you go back as far as you can remember.
Yeah.
And you list all the good things you remember and all the bad things you remember.
Okay.
And then when I got to my teenage years, I try to it was like a big old blank, like 5-6 years just missing.
Yeah. I get that.
Went back and was like, well, why did you skip from the age of 11 to 17? And I was like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And he eventually got me to open up and talk about it. And I told him, and he was like, who else has told about this? I was like, to be honest, I was like, I'm not even allowed to do that. Like, you're the first person I talked to about it.
Yeah.
But when I talked to him about it, I felt like this great relief of like grief just lifted off me because I was holding on to that. You know what I mean?
I get it.
And plus,
That
like I
must have been
said,
difficult.
I
Yeah.
grew up. Yeah, and plus I grew up in a family dynamic to where you don't talk about stuff like that. You sweep it under the rug, if you know what I mean. I grew up in the 90s.
Listen. I grew up in the '90s. I get it, and
You know exactly what I mean, right?
I know exactly what you mean, and I understand there's some family dynamics that are like that, where like that's just not a thing to talk about. Like you just don't talk about it. You just keep it to yourself, and like that puts a lot of that affects kids growing up a lot in like ways that you can't even imagine, right? Like, it probably affected you in a lot of ways that you don't even realize it affected you. You know what I mean? Those types of things absolutely can. And
I didn't learn that until 35 years ago.
Yeah, and like there very well could, if that happened to you, and you said it happened to other kids in the neighborhood, it very well could have happened to some of your other siblings as well. Or if not, I'm sure they have had other unfortunate, maybe personal things that happened to them that they may open up to you about if you open up about this at some point. What were you about to say, though?
This is how brainwashed this man had the kids in our neighborhoods, right? I hate myself so much for it, because one kid actually reported his ass. That's how he got caught, right? So he told the kid broke his baseball bat. He was really good at baseball, and he needed a baseball bat, and he was like, "I'll come over here to my house. I got a baseball bat. I'll give it to you, but you got to do something for me." And you know what that meant.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'll give it to you." And the little boy recognized instantly, man, don't you know I took the stand and lied for this man because I didn't want it to come out about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hate myself.
Listen, I don't think that's something that you should beat yourself up over. And listen, and again, I want to say that I'm not a therapist, so I don't want to like delve into these things by any means. I appreciate you opening up about it, but I think it's good that you continue to talk to other people. But don't hate yourself about it, right? Like that's unfortunately common for like kids or anybody to protect their abuser. So that's not unfortunately a uncommon thing. However, having said that, again, I don't like, again, I'm not a trained professional or a therapist. I do appreciate you being open, but I think there's just a lot to unpack in general, and I think you had the potential to have a good relationship with your siblings, and especially your brother here, because I bet you there's a lot of things that maybe they would like to talk to you about if they felt comfortable. So don't feel like the relationship is lost. I think it absolutely can get better. It has to take willingness from your end, right? Willingness to learn, willingness to grow and learn, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
I just want to.
Yeah, if you want to say one last thing. Yeah, if you want to say one last thing. Good.
Yeah, I just want to tell them like it's not you. It's just something that happened to me, and I feel like because it happened to me, and I think like it's my fault that it had like that's why you're going through this.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Sounds like there's a lot of like self-blame on your end and stuff like that. So I think for the sake of you, your family, and everything, everybody like that, I definitely encourage talking to a therapist that's like well versed in like abuse and things like that. I think that would be good if you're open to that.
Yeah.
So
like,
all right.
I'm so anal about it. Like I don't even let my kids go nowhere, bro. Like I don't let them stay over in anybody's house or anything.
I hear you. All right. Well, hey, listen. Yeah, let me move on. But again, I do appreciate you being open about that. I know it wasn't easy, especially in front of other people that are listening. So, I do hope you have a good rest of your night, though. Okay. All righty. Take care. Boy. Okay.
Wow.
That was a lot.
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to make excuses for him because I think no matter what has happened to you growing up, I still don't think that's a reason for not wanting to accept somebody for who they are or be able to understand somebody for who they are. However, I understand what he's gone through and how that can affect him. Not an excuse, but I understand. So, but I do think the fact that he's willing to be open about it, the fact that he's willing to talk to a therapist, and that he has, I think things could be reconciled. You know, assuming his brother also wants the same thing, because it does take two to tango.
Yeah.
So I think the possibility is there. I just didn't want to continue because I just, you know, I'm not a therapist. I didn't want to like say the wrong thing. I didn't want him to like start trauma dumping entirely too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you still did a great job.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta give you your flowers. It was a good conversation.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good note to wrap things up on. It's late by me. It's 11 p.m. But yeah, man, if you're still listening, again, appreciate you being open. Again, I do heavily consider you to consider what your brother has gone through as well, and whatever struggles your brother has gone through, and just keep that in mind. All right, guys. People on YouTube, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit subscribe to me. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you guys want to know ahead of time of when I'm going to go live, you can join my Discord. The link to that is in my bio of TikTok. I'm going to put it here in my bio here. That way you don't have to go to TikTok in order to join Discord. But if you're watching on TikTok, same deal, but you can also join the bulletin board on TikTok too. Lithium, anything that you wanted to say?
Nope. Just good night, everyone.
All right. Cool. Well, take care. Hope you have a good night already.
Yeah,
All right, guys. Well, interesting live. I'll see you guys at some point tomorrow. Okay. But yeah, give me a follow on TikTok. Hit the red follow button. Yeah. Hope you guys have a good night. And at some point I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. See you guys.